Well, that was a special request, of which there are only 2 selections that YouTube has for creators with a salsa type Latino type style of music that my good friend from Cypress, Texas, Annette Stover, requested that I try to play on the channel. You know, let's get some salsa music. Well, YouTube must not be a big fan of it because they only have 2 pieces, one of which I just played for you, and then one other that I'll play during the course of this unboxing. And if you're looking through the camera right now and going, okay, what are we going to unbox? On the far left, I can see what looks like a featherweight case, and then there's a box on top of that, and there's 2 other boxes in the foreground. Well, we're going to unbox a couple of things here. And let me give you a little bit of a backstory on kind of what I'm doing. On the far left is a machine that I recently acquired from Great Britain. And it's from my personal collection. And it is none other than a 222K, similar to Maddie's from Florida that she sent to me, being the first 222K that ever was in this workshop. Now this is the second one, which I happen to own. And the box on top of it, if you don't follow Facebook at all, I've got a friend that I prepared a hand crank for that's down in Mississippi. Her name is Lori. And Lori caught wind that I had acquired a 222K for my own personal collection. And being the sweet gal that she is from Mississippi, she went on to Amazon or wherever she went, and she ordered me these really cool shortbread finger cookie cracker thingy whaty-callies, whatever they are, that are from Scotland. Again, if you don't know the history of the 222K, the only place that they ever made it was Scotland, at the factory that I have a video on my landing page of on YouTube. Hopefully all of you have seen that video of the tour of the Singer Scotland factory plant, because it's absolutely fascinating. It shows you from start to finish everything from putting decals on the machine to making needles to wiring motors, and the list goes on. So definitely check out that video that's on my channel with a tour of the Scotland plant, the same plant where this machine, this 222K, would have been made. And I'm not going to reveal it to you yet, because I plan on revealing it in a follow-up premiere side by side with Maddie's 222K. Her machine, I've gathered, and I might be mistaken about this, but I've gathered that when she got hers, and she said she got a heck of a deal on hers. I can't say the same thing about mine, but I figured I gave up my 12K in a very worthy cause for the contest that Mary Klein won, so I was going to treat myself to another machine of my dreams, which is the 222K. But hers originally, I believe, was also wired for the European marketplace with 220 voltage, because she mentioned that she got it rewired. So I'm guessing that that's the case. I might be mistaken. But the one that I got from the UK is definitely wired for that market. It's not wired for the US market. So the packages on the right of the workbench right now are in part a quest to eventually get my 222K. That's tricky to say. Why don't I just say my triple deuce K? My triple deuce K machine that I got from the UK for my personal collection. Some of the boxes on the right that you see in the shot right now are going to be components that I draw from to make mine suitable for the US circuitry so that I can operate it here. And you never know. I mean, just like with the 12K that I ended up giving away in the contest that Mary Klein won, and I had gotten that from my personal collection as well. I had not planned to give that machine up. I might end up giving this triple deuce K machine away as well once I'm done with it. But I can tell you the unboxing of this box right here is another project unto itself. I've had a number of people over the years ask me about, they say, you do such beautiful restorations. Have you ever thought about doing a machine with a custom color? Because we know, Scott, that you're a traditionalist and you like staying as close to the authenticity of the original machine as possible, but would you ever consider doing a custom paint job on a machine? That's the purpose of this box right here that we're going to be unboxing during this premiere. I plan on taking the machine that's in that box and I plan on doing a custom paint job on it and then offering it either for sale or offering it potentially as a giveaway in one of the upcoming major contests. We're about halfway right now to the milestone of hitting 10,000 subscribers. I should say we're almost halfway. So maybe that machine, if it's ready by then, will be the giveaway item or something totally different. I've thought about a number of different ideas, and I've even had some great input from some of my faithful followers like Sonny out of Pennsylvania with concept ideas for the contest that's coming up for 10,000 as well. So I really love it when people step onto the shadows and they say, hey, what about this? What about that? We're all, let me say it again, we're all stakeholders in this channel. It's a channel I've held for a long time, and why has it grown so rapidly? Why do we gain on average 200 to 300 new subscribers every month with an ocean of people that never click subscribe? Doggone it, what's wrong with you people? What's wrong with you? No, we do have a ton of people that watch videos that never click subscribe. So imagine how many subscribers we would have if even a fraction of those that come to the channel every month. The way YouTube does it is they track. Let me step into the shot because it's like the boxes are talking to you. So what YouTube does is they give me analytics for every 28 days. So every 28 days I have an idea of how many minutes have been watched on the channel. Then they convert it also into the hours of watch time. Where have people been watching it from? How did they hear about the channel? Are they mostly men or are they mostly women? All those analytics, they give me those stats every single month. So when it comes to trying to, plan premieres and plan special announcements and all of that, it's sometimes driven as well by the audience that's out there. And again, I just wish a fraction of those people that come to the channel every month, again and again and again, and watch a ton of videos, I wish just a fraction of those would click subscribe, because according to my analytics, 80% of the people that come to the channel every month from around the world and watch a lot of videos never click subscribe. And YouTube has a way of tracking that, somehow. I don't know if it's with their DNS number or whatever that is. They're able to say, all these people are coming to your channel and they never click subscribe. So maybe I can come up with more incentives for them to click subscribe, because with us approaching 10,000 and having hundreds of thousands of visitors every month, can you imagine where our subscriber count would be? And that's not what it's about, but I'm just thinking, in a broader sense, to intrigue others as to saying, wow, that's a huge audience that is watching that channel, and get them involved and get them intrigued. Many of them maybe not even having taken the consideration of looking at vintage sewing machines. And if they see a huge audience, people are all drawn to this channel for some reason. And not that almost 10,000 subscribers isn't brag-worthy. It certainly is. But take that times 3, or take it times 4, or take it times 5, which, based on the number of people that come to this YouTube channel every single month and never click subscribe, they're not abstract numbers, they're very realistic numbers. So if you're watching this right now as one of those abstract, non-committal, non-clicking, non-subscribing people, let me challenge you again to subscribe. Why should you do it? Step out of the shadows and do it so that you can receive notifications right away about major contests, about unique premieres, about exclusive interviews that I've done with someone that you'll find fascinating, and you'll be the first one to hear about it. And more importantly, you'll be on the front lines to be able to step into that premiere live and actually interact and maybe ask that individual questions or post comments or reactions or whatever. But get involved, be a part of it, have a voice. That's really the big thing about being a subscriber on this channel, is having a voice so that you can give input and ideas, just like Annette did from Cypress, Texas, in saying, you know, I've got Latino roots. Can we have some salsa music? Can we have some Latino music? Yeah. I wish YouTube would have more, but they don't. They only have 2 songs. I'll just play them over and over and over again. I mean, you never get sick of salsa, right? I don't. So, but that's the whole idea, is have a voice. So if you're coming to this channel again and you're watching a premiere and you haven't clicked subscribe, take 2 seconds and click it. Click it. Click it. Don't click it multiple times. You'll probably crash the entire channel. But at any rate, you know, no big deal. I'm not trying to push you. I'm trying to nudge you, okay? All right. All right. Let me see if I can stand back up without knocking over the camera. So the little unboxing box on top is from Nova Scotia. And if you want to Google Nova Scotia right now and see if you can type something into the chat that's interesting about Nova Scotia, type anything you want. I'll send you something special. But make it kind of fun and intriguing, because very little is known about Nova Scotia. People don't know about it. You hear the name, oh yeah, I've heard of Nova Scotia. Well, what do you know about it? Nothing. So make us smarter on Nova Scotia. Type something in the chat. If you're the first one to do it, I'll send you something special. As a matter of fact, let me be real specific. I'll send you one of, where are they? I'll send you one of my sewing theme mugs. You can pick one of these 3 mugs if you're the first one to type something in the chat, and something substantive. Come on, folks, be real. Let's not just type in, well, Nova Scotia is blah, blah, blah. Type in a couple of fun facts about it, something that we'll all say when we read it, that is so cool, I didn't know that. Of course, we don't know much about Nova Scotia at all, do we? We just don't. But if you type in something super cool, I'll give you your choice of one of those 3 sewing theme mugs, whether it's the Sewing Addict or Good Things Come to Those That Sew, or if I'm holding my seam ripper, now is not a good time. They're all super fun mugs, and going into the winter months, no matter where you live, they're a perfect mug to have so that you can have it sitting near your sewing space and grab that drink of coffee or tea or hot cocoa or whatever it is that you like sipping when the temperatures start to drop, okay? So let's open that first box on top, because I also want to show you again, if you happen to order a motor, and sometimes when you're ordering a motor, say from eBay or Etsy or any of those other venues, you've got a limited amount of time in order to, once you receive that package, to test that motor, if something's wrong with it, in order to be able to return it. Or if there's, you know, something really sketchy about it, in order to post feedback that will reflect your experience with that seller. So we need to get this open. We need to test it and see whether or not it works, so that I can give feedback to this seller out of Nova Scotia. And I'll just kind of zoom in on the box, because I'll end up taking it out of the box and moving it out of the way. But this is a customs form that they used leaving the country, and soon I'll have to use something like that as I get ready to ship Cam D to Norway to my friend Hans. What is this? This is my address, and then this must be the address up here of the person that sent it. But it's just fun, isn't it? Getting, oh, that actually came through Canada. So maybe that's a big clue, even before somebody types something, is that Canada and Nova Scotia might be neighbors. Who knew? All right, so let's get into this box first. I'll kind of leave this shot like that. And we're going to test this motor and see whether or not the gentleman that I ordered it from in Nova Scotia gave me a good motor or a bad motor. And this particular motor is going to be the motor that I have earmarked that is probably going to go onto my 222K, my Triple Deuce K Singer machine right over here to the left off the camera shot. All right, so how about a little bit more salsa music for my friend Annette? And I hope that when I broke into dance a little bit ago, she was dancing too. Because I can only imagine that it's a lot more fun when you have more than one person dancing, right? I hope so. All right, here we go. I've got to do it. So it's packed pretty well. I'm not hearing anything rattling. All right, let's get this open. Kind of fun inside of the box. Can you see that? Looks like they assembled this box from Kirkland materials. Cool. And it doesn't feel like there's anything in the paper, so I'm going to throw that paper to the side. Now, I'm not an expert on salsa music at all, but these pieces that YouTube put on here are really short. They don't seem like they run terribly long. Is that true of most salsa music? Is it a short little tune and you like break into a dance and you do it and then all of a sudden, boom, you get all excited and it's over? I mean, I hope not. Hopefully they have some longer salsa songs that run, 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. So this is obviously an original Singer featherweight style motor, 0.4 amps. So it would take more than 3 of these motors to equal a Husqvarna Viking sewing machine, like a green machine with a 1.5 amp motor. 3 of these would be 1.2 amps, so you'd be getting close, but you'd still be 0.2 of an amp under what a Husqvarna puts out. So it just evidences when you see the videos on my channel showing featherweights, sewing heavy grade leather and stuff like that, I get notes from all over the world from people about, I've got a featherweight, mine can't sew anything close to what you've shown on your channel. I've even done 2 layers of genuine elk hide with a featherweight. It's on my channel. And it's unheard of. People are like, how the heck do you do it, man? It's my process. It's my process. And that's why I always encourage people, if you're going to buy a machine, kind of like recently my friend Sunny did from Pennsylvania, where she ended up buying a machine from Goodwill out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. And but she didn't have them send it to her. She had the people in Kalamazoo, Michigan send it right to the workshop here. And I was able to take that machine to the optimal sewing level that it's possible for that machine to do. Every machine, again, is unique and different, because once they leave the factory, and I've said this, I'm preaching to the choir, but once they leave the factory, they're exposed to all kinds of differences in their life as a machine. Whether it's how they've been maintained, how they've been used, how they've been abused, whatever it is, it impacts that machine. And until you can go through that machine from bobbing the balance wheel and renew those areas and revitalize that machine and restore that machine to get it to its, the top of its game, you're never going to see the full potential of that machine. And that's what my machines reflect on this channel, is the full potential of what all of these machines of all makes and models are capable of doing. I call it bringing out the greatness of a sewing machine. And just today, I got another note from somebody saying, what is your favorite machine? What is the best machine ever made? My response is, that's like asking me what is my favorite pie? What is my favorite pie? It's impossible. There's so many great pies out there. So you can't just pick one, and there's attributes and there's features and there's deliverables that all of those machines can bring, some of which are unique and intrinsic to that make and model that no other make and model can bring to the table exactly the same way. And so that's why it's virtually impossible for me to answer that question. It really is. I've got machines that I like, but the bottom line is all machines have their unique intrinsic values that make them incredible, absolutely incredible. Kind of like this little 0.4 amp motor, which it looks like, interestingly, since as we looked at the outer package of this that was sent from Nova Scotia, I commented that it had stamping on the package as if it had come through or near Canada. And that's where this particular Singer featherweight motor was made, according to the stamp on it, is St. John's, made in Canada. So let's put it to the test and see if it actually works. It looks really good. I'll bring it up close to the camera so you can see this is the front. Kind of see, do I have that pointing the right way? Yep, I do. I mean, it looks like it's brand new. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful motor, which means it will look really beautiful on my Triple Deuce K convertible, aka featherweight 222K. Yeah, I think it'll be beautiful on there. That's what I got it for. That was my intended purpose in getting this specific motor, is when I go through converting the machine over, the lighting system and possibly replacing some of the wire as well. The motor on it right now, as you'll see eventually when I put it side by side with Maddie's Triple Deuce K Singer, you'll see that the setup is nearly identical, but when it comes to the motor attributes, the plug-in points and all of that, the machines definitely, because of how they were designed for what kind of marketplace and circuitry, they're very different too. So here's our two contacts, and again, the way you can test a motor when you get it in, again, you'll have a limited amount of time. You might not have a chance to get it fully set up and wired to your machine, but you can do a simple bypass by getting two of these alligator clips and a standard, type cord like this. And again, if you connect these directly to the two contacts coming off the motor's going to run at max. So we'll not only be able to test that the motor is working, this motor right here that came from Nova Scotia, but we're also going to, when we plug it in, we're going to be able to hear that motor reaching its peak levels, just so we know, okay, if we really push this motor, this 0.4 amps, what kind of juice can we get out of this motor before I go through the motor and optimize it? How is it running now? So that's going to be our goal right now, is does it run, and how well does it run right now? And I'm going to kind of lay it down just so that if this sucker kicks in real fast and furious, it's not going to flip off of the workbench. I've shown that on my premieres before, where I'm demonstrating a motor after I've optimized it, and before you plug it in, okay, it fires up, it's running, but after I optimize it, it literally, you can see it like dancing. It dances when you plug it in. And that's a happy motor. All right, so we're going to connect our connectors first before we plug it into a power source. And I might put a little buffer in between these so that they don't inadvertently touch, which would make for a very exciting premiere. Very exciting. So I might just get a small little piece of electrical tape as a buffer between these two, so when I plug it in, they don't inadvertently touch. Although some of you real adventurous folks are saying, why not? Let's have a little sparks here, buddy. Let's have sparks with your motor in your machine, okay? All right? All right. Well, I'm going to redo that first salsa song again because I just feel like I was cheated. And if y'all want to contact YouTube and say, why are you only having 2 songs that are Latino salsa related when we all love salsa music, right? All right, here goes the first one again. So what I would recommend is just putting a little bit of tape around the negative, which is going to complete that circuit. And now we can plug it in with confidence, knowing that there's not going to be an issue. Well, I shouldn't say knowing that, hoping there's not going to be an issue. All right, and a quick pause on the salsa Latino music as we plug this motor that I just got from Nova Scotia in and see if it fires up and just get an ear for, you know, how much power are we getting out of that motor right now? Because it looks great from the outside, but I've told you before, do not judge a book by its cover. Do not judge a sewing machine by, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, it's so shiny, it's got to run perfect. That's my answer to that. I've already shown you machines that look really good on the outside, and they are so junked up on the inside, it just makes your head spin. All right, so quiet in the workshop. Listen to this motor. First time I'm firing it up that I got from Nova Scotia. Here we go. Well, to my trained ear, I don't know what you can hear through the camera. Other than it's sounding a little bit dry on the pulley end over here, other than it sounding dry, and I might hear a little bit of a rattle on the inside, it's just real faint. It's got real good power. It punches up fast, which is telling me that the copper coils and the comptroller and all the other components of that motor are very, very, they're functioning well. So I feel like this has been a real good purchase from Nova Scotia. And so based on this initial test of this 0.4 amp motor that's intended for my 222K that I just bought from the United Kingdom, this is going to be a great motor to put on there. And I'm okay with it saying made in Canada because a number of machines that were produced over in Scotland were sent then on to Canada to one of the factories there, either in St. John's or otherwise, and they were oftentimes equipped with motors just like this. So I don't see the two as distinct and separate. I see the operations in Scotland and Canada really being a partnership in what they did in completing a lot of Singer machines and eventually got them out for us all to enjoy. And again, the 222K is fairly exclusive. They only made, over the course of the 8 years that they were making the featherweight convertible, the 222K, they only made about 110,000 of them. And Hans and I both dug into that as much as we could, and that's the number that we came up with. So it's an exclusive machine, and it'll be great to eventually get it set up and equipped for our U.S. market, being driven by a motor like this. And of course, I'm going to sew leather with it. How can you not? Right? So let's set this really cool motor to the side that I just got from Nova Scotia. And hopefully one of you, I'm not looking at the chat, hopefully one of you or more than one of you typed in some interesting facts about Nova Scotia. Because I'd love to send you one of those really cool coffee theme mugs. I think that would be awesome. And I'm not looking at the chat, but I'm guessing that some of you might be typing into the chat. Now, Scott, you've got it on the workbench. can't we at least get a glimpse of your 222K? Can't we just get a glimpse of it? No. No, you gotta wait. Good things are worth waiting for, aren't they? I think they are. But I just wanted to explain the game plan as far as that box from Nova Scotia, the 222K I just got, the really cool crackers, the shortbread finger cracker thingies that I got from my friend Lori down in Mississippi. And just kind of whet your appetite. Whet your appetite with what's coming up as far as premieres. And it's another reason that you non-subscribing member friends want to consider clicking subscribe, so that when those premieres come up where I'm introducing things that are really cool, and there have been cases in the past, and y'all should know this, there have been cases in the past where I will release a premiere video and then I will take it down. So if you didn't attend that premiere, I got about a half a dozen videos like that that are a part of my archives on my YouTube channel that I aired them once and that was it. And it's because I want people to be rewarded if they take the time and they set aside that time to attend one of the premieres. Because it's a great way to interact with people around the world. Just one of the recent premieres, we had a gentleman watching with us from India. We've had him from Switzerland, from Norway, from Africa. The list goes on. We got about 126 countries that follow what I do on YouTube. So, I mean, that is, how cool is that? That's super cool. All right, let me put my 222K back over here where it's safe. And we'll move this center stage, this box that I'm going to open up. And again, the purpose of the machine in this box is I'm going to look at custom painting it. And the reason I do that is because I'm wanting to show all of you that watch this channel faithfully, that follow my work, that when you make a suggestion, when you offer an idea, that I'm going to try to act on it. I'm going to try to do something about that idea. I've talked about it all the time. If you don't put an idea into action, what's the point? So when you make a great suggestion like, Scott, we know we know you're a traditionalist. We know you like to, bring the machines back and restore them to the way they were when they left the factory. Actually better, but would you consider doing custom painting on a machine just for fun? So that's what this machine is purposed for. That's why I got it, specifically with that intent. And what I just brought into the scene right here is a special sew-off holder that my friend Maddie from Florida had sent me. But when she sent it, it didn't have anything above this level right here. So when you would try to set bigger sew-offs on it, it just wouldn't work. So what I did is I took Maddie's generous gift idea and I injected a little bit of innovation into it so that if I want to put a sew-off like this vertically, I can lean it against there, and with those extra supports behind it, I'm able to display sew-offs like this, or I could just as easily do it like this as well. So this will really come in handy. This will really come in handy, and I would not have had it as a resource if Maddie hadn't sent the base part. And then as I looked at it, just thought, I'm going to add a couple little goalposts to it. A couple little goalposts. I mean, it's football season. Why wouldn't I think about that, right? And you'll see this in some future premieres as I'm displaying the glory of the stitches, as I love to say. All right, we'll play that salsa, the second salsa song, one more time, and then I'll jump into some other format or genre of music. So the first one that I just played twice is called Sneaky Bass Latino. Sneaky Bass Latino, not making that up. The second one that we're about to play for the second time is called Bengo Latino. Bengo Latino. Here we go. whatever musical instrument that was just a second ago, it sounded like this. A little bit, right? Yeah, a little bit. There's the front side of it. And if you're not familiar with this, this actually is from Germany, and specifically from Bavaria, and it's called a Kugelken, and it's worn around the neck of the cows so that as the cows are walking around off in the distance on the hills and etc., you hear this soft little, well, you hear something, wait. Kind of cool, huh? I love it. Yeah, it just ends so quick. It just ends so quick. We should all lobby YouTube for longer salsa Latino music that I can incorporate into live premieres like this, and incorporate into you know, into whatever. I mean, it's just fun. It's fun music. If any of you have ever danced salsa, if you've ever done salsa Latino type dancing, and I'm not talking professionally like on Dance with the Stars or something like that, but I'm just talking about having actually done it. You know, you've actually gotten some training, or you've studied salsa dancing, and you've actually, you know, this is my extent of training right here. Not bad. But if you've actually studied it, or you've actually done it, type in the chat, you know, done it, or done, or smiley face, or whatever you want to put in there. Because I think that that is such an amazing dance style. It's so high energy, and it's so interactive. The play between the two dancers interacting with each other through the different dance moves and the flow of the it's fabulous. It's fabulous. No wonder Annette said, Scott, could you put on some salsa music? Yeah, absolutely. I could have this music on in the workshop all the time, but I've got two choices on YouTube. What's that about? So, Patty is the one that I sourced this machine from, and I don't know exactly what these two little squares of cardboard do, but there they are. So, thank you for the cardboard, Patty. All right, let me throw that down there. And she wrote a little note on the sticky note. It's kind of cool. Just simple, straightforward. Thank you, Patty. Not quite ornamental. I mean, it certainly doesn't equal, you know, back to my friend Annette down in Cypress, Texas. It doesn't equal the glory and the grandeur and the beauty of the card that she sent me when she sent her payment in. I shared that with you. The elephant card, you remember that? But hey, at least it's something. Some people don't put a thing in there. And Patty is a fellow collector. I haven't had any dealings with her before, but through the different channels that I work with other collectors in, they said that she's a real reputable collector, a good gal. And this particular machine that I sourced from her, like I said again, I sourced it specifically so that it can be restored, and I'm going to paint it with custom color. And I think you'll like it. I think you'll like it even the way it is, but it's going to need, I think it's going to need, if I weren't going to paint it custom and I were just going to paint it back traditional, it still would need some help, because it's got, from the photos, it's got quite a bit of scratching on it, some blemishes, kind of like John Smith's, but it doesn't have all of that varnishing and rust on it, as far as I could see in the pictures. So more cardboard. If anybody needs any cardboard, just write me and we'll meet in a dark alley and I'll hand these off to you. This one's available as well. Actually, these two. I've got a total of 4 of them now. And again, being a kid at heart, which I hope all of us are in this playroom of ours, you could make all kinds of cool things out of this. You could make a fan. You could have cardboard frisbee Olympics. If you get the right toss on these puppies, you can get them going probably a good 25, 30 feet easily. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the world differently sometimes, and it's just not ordinary cardboard. It's a play toy. Yeah, definitely a play toy. All right, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and let me find another genre of music to put on. Let me see if I could type in another keyword and find something fun. Maybe I'll just type in dance. Let me type in dance. Dance. Why don't we try dance ballroom? Let's try dance. I'll try Latino dance first. See if anything comes up for that. Only the same one we already played. So let me try typing in just dance now. Computer's really lagging, so just be patient with me for a second here. Alright, so I just typed in dance. And this is not going to be salsa, Latino style music, it's just going to be dance music. But I figured we would have something a little bit high energy. So here we go. This one is called No Straight Day Beat. No Straight Day Beat. Yeah. Not salsa, but it's pretty cool. No paper. And more paper. And more paper. And more paper. More paper. And yes, even paper could be a toy too. See what I'm saying? You got to think like a 9-year-old sometimes. Actually, they're, in all fairness, they would probably be more like a 4-year-old, but you know what I mean. Lots of paper. I could keep a whole room of 3 to 6-year-olds busy for hours. I mean, you've heard the saying, right? You get Christmas gifts, you get gifts at the holidays. Kids throw the toy to the side. What do they play with? Yeah, the box. Patty packs a lot better than some of the previous collector folks that I've sourced machines from. She really some thoughtfulness that went into this. See what she did? She got the machine padded. She had a lot of padding to fill up that empty space so the machine wasn't being jostled around. She's got some impact protection on the sides. Even though it's a thin layer of cardboard, it's still something. So, yeah. Pretty doggone good, Patty. Pretty doggone good. Patty gets a B in the class so far today. Depending on what we find with the machine, she might get an A-, but she's really going to have to work for that. Alright, this next one I played before, because how do you forget a title like this? She No Dull Beat. Okay, not proper English, but it's catchy. It's catchy. So again, play toys, right? Not just cardboard. get the idea. Be a kid at heart. Be a kid at heart. All right. Oh, my favorite little airbags. All right, I won't pop this one. I'll be good. Sorry. Sorry, Mom. So what are you thinking this might be? Yeah, we got more cardboard in the bottom. No additional padding in the bottom of the box, which I would recommend. All we have is the bottom of the box. And this machine is padded pretty good, but I always say add extra padding beyond what you cocoon the machine with. So that would be the only critic. So yeah, she's back to a B-. She's at a B- now. I'm real passionate, kind of like Annette just said in a recent premiere. She said, now that I've seen your packing process, because I was showing the packing of a Husqvarna Viking in a case. As a matter of fact, it was Annette's machine heading towards Cypress, Texas. And she said, you always get real passionate or intense or whatever word she used to describe when I'm unboxing something like this, and I'll get emotional about they really dropped the ball here, or this could have been better or whatever. I get real picky. And she said, I totally get it now. Now that I watched your process, how intense it is, how specific it is, how scientific it is, I'm good. I'm good. I understand, Scott. You're good, man. You're good. All right. So if there's any guesses, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Tell me what you think this might be. A big clue, big clue. Dr. Singer would approve. Dr. Singer would approve. That's a big clue. All right. Let's carefully cut this outside stretch wrap off. And I think we are real close to unveiling this machine. Again, this machine is going to get stripped all the way down to bare metal. It's going to get repainted. It's going to get new decals. And more importantly, it's going to get a custom color. It's not going to be the color it was when it left the factory. And I've had a number of folks that have suggested colors that I should, if I ever do custom, I've had a lot of input on colors I should consider. I've had people say fire engine red. I've had other people say turquoise, blue, mint color, more like a Husqvarna. So I mean, color is such a subjective thing. But I've got a couple colors in mind right now that I think would really, really work well with this particular machine. All right, She No Dull Beat. That was one we just did. Now we're going to try Timpani Beat. Timpani Beat. Sounds a lot like the other one, doesn't it? All right, we're real close, so if you don't have your guess in yet as to what this is, you better go quick. Oh, I see it's tucked underneath. I was like, how do you get this sucker off? And again, if you're new to the channel, angle the scissors away if you're cutting through tape or something like that. You don't want to cut your machine, that's for sure. All right, here we go. Taking a peek. Not quite yet. Real close. Real close. Holy mackerel, are we close. when in doubt, dance. Anyone that has pets out there, I just got to ask this question. This is personal, but you know, we're close enough. You ever put on fun music like after a long day at work or something like that? And if you have a cat or a dog, you'll put on music and you'll dance with your pet? If you do, if you're brave enough to admit that, because I've done it, I have. Type it in the chat, done it. Or, yup. Or a smiley face, or a confused face, or something like that. Whatever you decide you want to put, it's totally fine. All right? We're not judging here. We're not judging. All right, here we go. Oh, this is like an onion. Is Patty like messing with us? I mean, look at this. We got 4 sections of it flopped back, and we still can't see what it is yet. Kind of see it from the edge a little bit. All right, this music is boring me. It's too repetitive and predictable. Let's put on Bella Bella Best. Here we go. This almost has kind of a salsa feel to it, doesn't it? A little bit. I mean, use your imagination a little bit. All right, the final unveiling. I think we're down to the final layers. I'm going to very carefully cut across the front of here. This might do it. Shazam! You can see part of the balance wheel. Y'all are smart. You probably already guessed it. Down to the front. Reveal. Yeah, this is a good candidate for a full restoration with custom color. Custom color, definitely. Oops, I'm knocking things over. I just took out Reggie White. Sorry, Reggie. So look at this machine. What color do you see it as? Custom color. What color? Let's come off the tripod and take a closer look at what obviously is none other than the Singer Featherweight. The little, well, you could say the little sister to the 301, but I like to also say she's the princess of singers.
Yeah, she's the princess. Don't tell anybody. She doesn't want to be known.
All right. So the scratching that I talked about that I saw in the photos, let me zoom back a little bit, is this right up here. See the crinkling of the paint in that? And this is not one of the crinkle finish type featherweights. I wish it were. If it were, the crinkle finish featherweights can go for as much as $10,000. Average price is right around between $6,000 to $8,000 for a crinkle finish featherweight. And if you've never seen a crinkle finish featherweight before, even in pictures, I can post them on Facebook. Looks like we're also missing the bobbin case too. Okay, so this has a motor that was made in the US, in contrast to our Nova Scotia one that I just unboxed before. It's going to be basically the identical motor. It's going to have a slightly different pulley on the end of it, the US version. But pulleys are easy enough to change out. But you can kind of see right here, Elizabethport, New Jersey, made in the USA. And mine has all the same spec information. It just has it has made in Canada. So yeah, such an interesting conditioning on that paint, isn't it? Like I said, boy, I wish this were an actual crinkle finish featherweight. That would be sweet. You guys remember my friend from down at the sewing museum, right? Down in give me a second, I was just looking at something. Down in Oklahoma. And he talked about someone that came in, and if I've already shared this story, sorry, I'm sharing it again. But he talked about a lady that when they were running regular hours before the pandemic and everything, they would have people sometimes that were, you know, they had a machine that they acquired somehow. Hopefully they didn't steal it. They acquired it somehow in a legitimate way, but they were looking to sell it. And they would bring it into my friend's museum down there in Oklahoma. And, you know, he would assess it. And if he was interested in adding it to the collection of the museum, he would offer them what would be a fair price. And had a lady call one time, called the museum down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And got on the phone with him and said that she had a featherweight. She knew that much about it. It was a featherweight. She said it was kind of a weird looking featherweight, but she was wanting to sell it. She needed the money. I don't remember why she needed the money, but she needed it. And so my friend said, bring it in, I'll take a look at it. And so she brought the machine in. And lo and behold, it was a crinkle finish featherweight. And she had been very honest and upfront with my friend over the phone about how much she needed to get, you know, for her financial needs from this machine. She was looking for right around $400, around $400. And that's about the fair market price of what a featherweight sells for right now in this day and age. And this was a number of years ago. He's had the museum about 3 years, going on 4 years. So it's been about 3 years ago that this lady came into the museum and said, I've got a featherweight, weird finish on it, but I want to sell it. If I can get $400, that would be great. I would be happy as a lark. She brings it into the museum, and right away my friend looks at it, and being well versed, because he watches my YouTube channel a lot, and also he's a great student of vintage machines too, and he loves learning. He took one look at it and he said, put that back in the box. Well, she got scared, like, he's rejected it. He's not going to buy it. I'm not going to get the money that I need by selling this featherweight. I'm not going to get the money. I'm not going to be able to cover that expense that I'm trying to cover by selling this machine that I don't need. And her face was contorted a little bit, almost like she was getting ready to cry. He said, no. I'm not going to buy it from you for $400. This is what I want you to do. I want you to post it. And I think he said Pinterest, but I don't remember for sure. Post it on a venue where a lot of collectors are going to be seeing it. He said, post it on, let's just say it was Pinterest. Post it on Pinterest. And this is what price I want you to put on it. I want you to list it for $8,000. firm. And I'm going to alert my sewing group of friends, some of whom are very serious collectors, and I can almost guarantee you, he said, I'm not guaranteeing you, but I can almost guarantee you that if you post it this afternoon, by this evening, that machine is going to be sold. It was sold. And it sold for the full price. There was no bartering. There was no negotiations. It was a crinkle finish style featherweight. And there were only a tiny number of those machines made. Tiny. More rare than that all aluminum 99K that I traded for that other machine recently. And there, in that group size, there was right around 4,000. We're talking a much smaller group size than that, in the hundreds of the crinkle finish featherweights. She was so delighted with his honesty and his integrity. And also obviously notifying the group of people that he knew that then jumped into the mix and were fighting over this crinkle finish featherweight, that she circled back. And sometimes when a kindness is shown to somebody, sometimes they remember to circle back in one form or another. Maybe it's a text message, maybe it's an email, maybe it's a handwritten note. Kind of like the handwritten note. And I've got to cover her address. Kind of like the handwritten note that Margaret just sent me from Kentucky. She had one of my impromptu contests and took the time to circle back and to drop me a beautiful handwritten note. My friend Margaret from Fairfield, Kentucky. Fairfield, Kentucky. And I love it when people do that. When people take time to say, hey, thanks. Don't do the kindness because you're looking for a thank you, but it's kind of neat when you get that thank you. Anyway. So she circled back to say thank you, but along with saying thank you and stopping by the museum, she dropped off a check for $1,000. How cool is that? How cool is that? And imagine what the outcome could have been if my friend was less than scrupulous, if he had not had the integrity to say to her, yeah, I'll give you your $400, no worries. And then he had turned around and sold the machine for $8,000. And she heard about it somehow. Or someone else that she knew she was going in with this machine because she needed the money, heard about it. What kind of ripple effect would that have brought? You get it. It's always better to be, to have integrity in what you do. I certainly try my very best to always have integrity in the work that I do. And hopefully you do as well with your work. Yeah, that'll be easy enough to fix right there. Just kind of scratched up a little bit. I don't know if I have a cord for this setup or not, but I'm kind of curious to plug it in, aren't you? See if we can actually get this thing to turn over with all this funky, weird, crackled paint. I mean, imagine if this crackled paint was gone and I could do just a restoration of addressing the crackled paint. Look at the quality of the decals on this machine. But then I would not be taking that path of considering doing a custom paint job on it. It sure is tempting though, because I could spend about 8 hours or so and eradicate this crackling on here. Put a nice fresh clear coat on the machine. I can always use another machine for doing some sort of a custom paint job on. Type in the chat if you strongly object to the idea of me restoring this featherweight as a traditionalist rather than doing it as custom. Type in the chat either be traditional, go for it, something like that, or custom paint job, or whatever you want to type in there, something like that, so that I at least have a barometer of what y'all are thinking. Yeah, this has incredible potential just for a basic restoration of paint without a complete strip down and repaint. It's got incredible potential. Yeah. All right, let me sit back on the tripod, find a little bit more music to put on, and give this some more contemplation. Would one of you like to have a featherweight for Christmas? probably get it done as a traditional paint job a lot quicker than I could as a custom paint job, for whatever that's worth. Not that quick is better. All right, let me see if I can find a cord. We'll plug this in and we'll see if we can fire it up and see if we get any response from it, just to test that that US motor. And yes, I'm gonna grab my fire extinguisher just in case. Just in case. Come out on this shot a little bit more. All right, give me a second. I'll put on some more music for you, and I'll see if I can find a cord that's wired up already for this machine. So Bella Bella Beat, I think, is the last one we did. The next one, I mean, it had to have taken them months, if not years, to come up with this title. It's so clever, so introspective. It's called Go, Go, Go. Somebody studying the art of origami, I think, is the one that wrapped this cord last. Maybe it was Dr. Singer. I'm working as fast as I can, folks. This thing, look at that. That's what I'm dealing with. Come on now. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. There's a bulb up there, so we'll see if we get a light at least, hopefully. All right, electricity is flowing. Let's hope it stays where it's supposed to stay. We got a light, that's a good sign, right? Now you can see the level of light right now, right? Hold on a second. There's our level of light. Not bad, not horrible, not great. That got hot real quick. I gotta cool it down a little bit before I can grab it. The power of LED. Yep. Nice. LED is pretty doggone cool, man. Pretty doggone cool. All right, let's get some lights back on so we can do a motor test on this. Yeah, even with all the lights on, at least from my vantage point, you can see that coming through beautifully. All right, I'm going to get the next song queued up, but we'll wait. We'll wait for the next song, which is called Twisted Bandits All Around Me. You got to know that I can't make these titles up, right? They're just that weird. So, or unique. Let's go with unique. It sounds like a kinder thing to say. All right, let's see what happens when we plug this foot controller in, which we've done. And we push the foot control button. Presser foot is up. Never run a machine with a presser foot down against the feed dogs unless you got material in between, which we can do right now. We can test the feed dog feed as well, which would be cool. We'll do it with some of our compressed felt. All the way to the top position, and the stitch length control is going to get you reverse on a featherweight. So yeah, not bad movement. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's pretty good, pretty doggone good. Yeah, I'll have to check that, my notes in talking with Patty to see whether or not it indicated that there was no bobbin case included, because I thought there was, but that may be my mistake. And on this particular featherweight, there is not a feed dog drop. All right, let's do this now. Let's listen to the power of the motor with no drag as far as the clutch being disengaged and not driving that main shaft. We'll see what we hear. That's definitely not full power. I mean, I'm giving it full power with the foot controller. But that machine is not hitting what should be an optimal sewing speed level, RPMs. So I'm not going to run it anymore until I can have a chance to break apart that motor casing and look and see what we're finding on the inside. Because it's running, remember I think I said it sounded like it was a little bit dry, and that may be the case with all the machine. We're getting fairly good drive with the feed dogs and such, but the motor strength is definitely not at the level that one of my featherweights should be running at. It's not horrible. It's not as bad as some of the machines that you've seen on this channel that are really struggling. All right, that's all I'm going to run it. I'm not going to run it anymore until I can have a chance to put it under the scalpel, in a sense. I'm also, and you can't tell it because it's working, but I'm also feeling a strange, it's almost like it's binding a little bit on the presser foot. It's functioning, but it's binding, so I'm going to have to take a look at that as well. I'll look at the whole machine, bobbing the balance wheel, and just make sure that it's running well. So I haven't looked at the chat. I don't know if you typed in the chat, if there's a preponderance of you that are saying definitely go custom color. That would be my guess. Others might be saying no, go traditional, just get it done so one of us can scoop it up for Christmas. I'll have to give it some thought. And while I value your input, ultimately I'll have to make the decision, obviously. I'll have to make the decision. So, but I would say that my motor right now, this one over here that we already fired up from Nova Scotia, is far outperforming the power that this featherweight motor made in the U.S. has right now. And that's no knock to the U.S. motors made at Elizabethport, New Jersey. They made real fine motors there. It just means that this Canadian-made motor is running at a higher level. It's running at a higher peak right now than the Elizabethport, New Jersey one. So we'll have to wait and see. And what I'm able to bring that motor back up to. My goal is always to make it better than when it left the factory, but some motors are just, they're at a point where unless you go in there and take out all of that copper wrapping and rewrap the motor, which is a lot of work obviously, you're going to hit a certain peak level with that motor and that's going to be it. So all in all, a good looking featherweight, apart from the crinkling on the paint, a real good candidate either for a custom paint job or for a traditional restoration. And it would be absolutely drop dead gorgeous for sure. And am I missing something? Am I missing something super obvious that I did not highlight or point out? I think I am now that I'm taking a closer look at it. Let me zoom in on this. This could be a very exciting discovery. What are you seeing in the camera shot? What I'm seeing in the camera shot is, you raise up the stitch length control arm so we have a clearer view. And if you typed in the chat, holy cow, Scott, you've got a Centennial 221. You've got a Centennial 221 that was made to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Singer Sewing Machine Company. If you said that, you would be exactly right. You guys are so smart. One of you virtually, existentially, or otherwise tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey Scott, look at the branding badge mark. Look at the branding badge mark. This is the Centennial Singer Featherweight." I don't know how now, looking at the badge mark, it was just a standard badge mark from any other featherweight, I would be more inclined to say, yeah, custom paint or traditional paint, either way, I can go that way. But now that I'm seeing that it's a Centennial model to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Singer Sewing Machine factory, company, oh, I don't know that I can do this as a custom machine now, folks. I'm just being honest. Now, if you have an argument to the contrary, and you're like, no, it's a celebration machine. It's a Centennial Singer Featherweight. It's totally appropriate to do a custom color. It's even more celebratory if you put a pizzazz color on there, like something bright and like, whoa, look at me, it's a celebration. Do we have any celebration music? Let me see if I can find some celebration music real quick as we contemplate this very, very difficult point. Now that we know that it's a Centennial Featherweight, all of a sudden the decision has gotten to be a lot tougher, at least for me, a lot tougher. What do we have for something celebration rating? What is... Yeah, no, I don't like that. It's not bad. It's not bad. How about this one? Whoa! This is called Church Bell Celebration Sting, and that was it. 11 seconds, that's all we get for that. We stuck a quarter in the machine and we're getting 11 seconds, that's it? Holy mackerel. Let's try this beachfront celebration. Oh yeah, people have fun on beaches, don't they? Does anybody like being on a beach? One of you typed a note one time and you said, I would love to be on a beach. Any other beach goers? I bet you that most of you enjoy going to the beach. Even if you have to have an umbrella over you because you're maybe allergic to the sun or sensitive or prone to getting burned or something. For me, people absolutely hate me. I can walk out in the sun to check the mail and get a tan. I can. I'm sorry. If you can't, you got to be out there for hours. I got better things to do. I just want a tan. Just get it over with. Yeah. I'm liking this one. Let's turn it up. It's almost feeling beachy and kind of salsa-y. How do you say the word? Salsa-y. I have no idea. So we have a Centennial Singer Featherweight 221 that I bought with the idea of custom painting it, but now it's a dilemma because it's a Centennial model, specifically for the 100th birthday of Singer. How do you take a machine that was earmarked for that very, very special celebration and convert it into some sort of a neon blue or fire engine red or something like that? How does that work? I don't know. Type it in the chat. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what to do. Tell me what you think I should do. Because I'm ultimately going to do what I want to do. But I value your input. Because it might, the scales are like this. Tell me what to do! Dr. Singer, give me your wisdom! Those are some cool moves. It's not helping me with my decision, but it's really cool. Well, we might have to play that song again. That was way, way, way cool. Way cool. So this has the potential for either. It could get a custom paint job and be one of the most unique Centennial featherweights ever that was on the earth. I mean, among its brothers and sisters that number almost 3 million. But it's a big family. It's like being Italian or Greek or Latino. You got a big family. What's wrong with a big family? Big families are awesome. So this comes from a very big family, obviously. I've talked about that before. Featherweight's total production being right around 3 million. So, I mean, I don't know. It could be custom. It could be traditional. Could be custom traditional. I don't know. Well, we will find out soon enough which direction I end up going. Because I think regardless of whether it becomes a custom paint job or a traditional featherweight with that very, very cool Centennial badge mark, it's going to be a treasure that someone will love to get their hands on. And I do intend to sell this. It would be a wonderful Christmas gift, wouldn't it? Put it underneath the tree, and you know, if you're maybe a husband watching because you know your wife loves vintage machines, or if it's for yourself and you go, I'm going to buy myself a really cool Christmas gift. This might end up being underneath your tree. You never know. All right, well, stay tuned for other great premieres like this where we test motors We scrutinize and deliberate what to do with a certain machine that's arrived at the workshop. This one is officially now in my personal collection, and now it's a matter of what do we do with it? What do we do with it? So, all right. So I'm going to go back to a quote that a lot of people have enjoyed hearing, and that is, yesterday is history, tomorrow a mystery, but today is a gift, which is why they call it the present. Make the most of your gift, please. Make the most of your gift. And a way to make the most of your gift is to remember that life can be a serious, stressful place, but never lose sight that the way to stay young, the way to have joy in your life, the way to get up in the morning with a sense of anticipation and excitement is to never lose that child outlook, that childlike outlook, where you look at life as a playroom, you look at life as a place to have fun, a place, as these strange little creatures remind us over here. And it's partly obscured by the little dude on the left, but it basically is talking about the value of laugh. And any of you that have a healthcare background like me, you already know that laughter can transform a person. It can take a person that has ailments and illnesses and is on heavy medications, and it can take them to a totally different level if all of a sudden they get laughter back into their life. It's so powerful. And you might be laughing right now just looking at these, whatever they are. You know what I mean? No, they're not your nephews, and that's your nephew and niece? Are you serious? I'm not buying it. You guys don't look... What? What do you mean they were adopted? Really? Okay, well apparently, and I didn't mean to insult you, I mean, yeah, they are strange looking. So this, according to Dr. Singer, this is his nephew and niece that are up by that sign. Apparently they've come to live at the workshop, which is cool. We got plenty of space and everyone's welcome here, including any of you watching this right now. If you're ever in this neck of the woods, reach out in advance, send me a text. I'll give you a personal tour of the workshop. We'll go down by the breakwater and walk that cool causeway together. Even if it's snowing, we could do it. Just have some boots. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know what to do about this. I'll have to consult with Dr. Singer and Mr. Bean and Herr Obermeister and even with Reggie White. Reggie White is really into crafts. Even though that he's passed away now for a number of years ago, he's still into crafts. They have crafts. If you ever wonder, and I can say this with some authority, they have crafts and sewing up in heaven too. Yeah. I mean, think about the analogy, you know, it's easier to put a camel through the eye of a needle than it is to come into the kingdom of heaven. I mean, let's just face it, folks. Sewing, maybe even quilting, is in the Bible. So, yeah. Might as well just end with that, huh? But I'd rather end with some fun music. I really would. Let's see. True to the Flag. That sounds like an interesting one. Let's play True to the Flag. And I'll come off the tripod and go around this machine one more time up close. All right, thanks for attending this premiere. And again, if you have any strong feelings one way or the other, custom paint, traditional paint restoration, let me know. Oh, almost forgot. Trying to visualize the different colors right now, you know what I mean? Red! Woo! Blue! Like a blue that color. What do you think, John? What color would you go with, Rock? What do you think, Rock? Dwayne, what color would you choose? You like turquoise? Seriously? Nice, nice. That's cool. What do you? Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you guys. I can only imagine based on your outfit. You know what I mean? Maybe a pink or something. Hey, if it's your birthday, happy birthday, okay? Happy birthday. What color would she pick? I wonder. Yeah. What do you guys think? You guys got any strong opinions? Reggie, what do you think? Herr Obermeister? Mr. Bean? Dr. Singer? Okay. All right, stay tuned. It's going to get either custom or regular paint. Bye for now.